Hi, guys, welcome back to another episode of Chat with Ali. And today I have with me Guy. Guy is Haitian and he's going to answer some questions for us as to how it relates to voodoo. So, the topic today is Haitian voodoo.
Okay.
So, so there's a lot of, let me see, there's a lot of talks about Haiti or a lot of association with Haiti and voodoo. So a lot of times when people think of Haiti, the first thing that comes to their mind is voodoo. And so since you're Haitian, maybe you could talk about it or give us a little story about what it's like and if what truth is it to voodoo? Is it a myth or or there's some truth to it?
Yes, there is some truth to it. It's like any religion. If you believe, like you believe in God, you pray with faith, you get what you're asking for, and it's almost the same like voodoo. They may do voodoo for whatever the reason may be. If you don't actually believe in it, it has no effect or it won't do it. It's really a belief.
Okay, so is voodoo a part of the Haitian culture?
It is.
Okay. So you're saying that it is similar to religion?
It is the only difference. The difference is not the only, but the difference is to the years they used to do very good with it. They treat people, they give you a tea, you get sick, and they can treat generally many type of not disease or sickness actually. But to the years it's been misinterpreted and they use it wrongly to do evil to people.
Okay, so tell us first, what is voodoo? What is voodoo?
It's something that, as I said, you can compare it to
What Jamaican people call obia?
exactly. You can, yeah. That's although I don't know much about Obia, but yes, we can make a
Right.
comparison.
So the
To that.
connotation for us in Jamaica is that obia is usually linked to bad things. And so when you think of voodoo, you're thinking something similar. So people would use voodoo to hurt people. So if you could explain or tell us like a story as to
They can do both. They can hurt people. They can also treat people.
so what is voodoo?
It's like I don't know how best to explain it. It's like a ceremony type thing.
Like a
You can,
ceremony.
yeah.
You could and it's something that they practice.
Exactly
Okay.
they do with like you get sick, whatever you feel like somebody else is doing you bad,
Bad.
and they treat you with either bush teas, like a bath, a tr- leaf bath,
Okay.
things like that.
Okay, so have you ever witnessed voodoo being practiced?
Yes, I've been to ceremonies where you see, yeah, where they do it, either they celebrating or the spirit that they serve, they have to feed them like once a year or every 6 months or whatever. They killing, animals like goats,
So
porks, and
I want
things
to
like
hear
that.
more. So give me an example of a good practice or a good experience versus
What
what
I
they use for
experienced
bad.
as good, what I experienced was there was that old lady that I know, and there was this guy who said that who had his knee was swollen, very, very, very big, and he was there at the lady, which somebody that I know I visit, I will go back and forth. The guy stayed there for a good few months, but this lady was working on him on the bad knee.
Mm-hmm.
She never actually touched him. It's like to the night you heard a voice talking, and a few months later he will never touch the guy, and after a few months you see the leg, he will bathe, give him some bath and things like that. Never touch like a surgeon will operate
Okay,
or
so you're
put
saying that she used like bush medicine and she would boil
she,
stuff,
yeah,
but she never physically touched his leg.
physically touch him. And after, I've been going back because I was myself very curious to see how or what. And she pull out like little snakes and stuff from the knee, put them in a glass container so everybody can see the type of the. That's when I was a little convinced, although I never see. But the guy walked after that. He stayed there for quite a few months.
Okay, so you're saying that she gave him some baths and stuff to use on the knee,
Yeah,
bush
on the
medicine to
knee.
use
Yeah,
on his knee, and then after a while, there was worms and stuff,
coming
maggots
out
coming out of his
from the
knee
knee, and the knee came back
to
to the
normal
normal size.
size. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one good. So share the bad one now.
The bad one I overheard. I never actually experienced. Like, we're coming from the countryside. Um, I mean, deep in the country, and the roads are very bad. Like 10 o'clock, we left on a 6 hour drive, and in the middle of the night, my cousin was driving. He was telling me, like, they call them Lugau, they call them Zobob, they have so
Was that
many,
like a ghost
like a
or
ghost,
duppy? Okay.
like somebody was flying like a bird, and you see a little, not a light actually, but something bright that even in the dark, pitch dark, you can make out like a big bird.
Mm-hmm.
Those are called lookout. Those are the people that do evil to, like you have a newborn and they want to do you. They said they kill them and things like that.
Okay.
But you never. It's hard really to explain. Again, it's a belief. If I believe they cannot do anything to me, nothing will happen. That's how I call.
So guys, so do you want to share like you may not have experienced for yourself like the bad practice of voodoo, but you must have heard stories like when you were growing up. So do you want to like share a story of, what you've heard about the bad practices
Yeah,
with voodoo?
like somebody died. They said, let's say you have a beef. John have a beef with Pierre, and they said Pierre kill him.
Mm-hmm.
On the night after the burial, people said they can hear because they will go by your house with that person, that dead person,
The person's
because they
body?
go and the person's body, they wake them up, which they call zombie.
Okay.
They will pass by your house, by wherever the dead person was living, to
Mm-hmm.
tell the family, I'm passing, I'm passing, I'm passing, 3 times or 7 times. I cannot recall exactly. And people sometimes will hide to see that dead person if it's true. But again, you have to be, how can I put it? You can also get sick from watching. You can get affected by
Seeing the
hiding
practice?
somewhere and see the dead person. You understand what I'm saying?
In
Yeah.
what way?
You can get sick. Same like another story, a short one. Like we'll go out, let's say I go out 2, 3 o'clock at night, I have a few drinks and I caught up with a nice lady on the street and we talk. Sometimes you go to bed. I heard that so many times. On the morning when you wake up, you see yourself at the cemetery with the lady. You understand what I'm saying? You go and spend the night, somebody that you met, first one night, what you will call a one
One night
night stand,
stand.
somebody that you don't know. Yeah, it happened.
And the next morning you wake
On the
up and you're
next
in the
morning,
cemetery.
you
You're not
wake
in
up.
your house.
You're not in your house. You see yourself in the middle of the cemetery on a two. Yeah, dad, my uncle, my great uncle. Yeah, so many people say that, but those are things that I heard. I never actually experienced.
For
See
yourself.
them for myself.
Okay, so another thing that I've heard about is the voodoo doll. Do you know of the voodoo doll and like what do they use it for?
Same, mostly to do evil. You have a boyfriend. You want to. How do they say that? You
Keep
don't
the
want him to
boyfriend
keep him. You don't want him to leave you. You have two dolls, like a man doll,
and a
a
female
female
doll.
doll, and they wrap them together and do some ceremony on it. It's like
Okay.
tying you up with that person.
Oh,
Those are they. You use it for different things. You can go for money for your business to
for
work,
your business to make
prosper.
money.
Yeah, They
Okay.
do it for so many different things. But again, you have to believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
They do good, they do bad, as you like I explained.
And
It's
I have heard about, like, if you want to hurt somebody, then they have like pins that they would use to stick different areas of the doll,
he
and the person would feel
will
the
feel it.
pain in those
They can
areas.
even they go as far as all this is based on what I heard. I can drink a tea on your name, like let's say I have something with you,
Mm-hmm.
a confrontation or whatever. I drink a tea and you have a diarrhea until you pass out.
Wow.
That's how, yeah, they do. Or I'm jealous of whatever, and
Oh.
they do. And there's another thing also I've heard of. Somebody somebody died in the family.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know because they believe so much in so and so can kill. The killing, one can kill another
They could
by
use this
evil
voodoo to kill
to kill
somebody else.
somebody.
Yeah.
You can go in a place and the voodoo priest will call the person. I forgot how they call this thing. Will call the dead person to make them talk to know how they died.
Oh, so like they raise up that dead
That
spirit
dead spirit, and
and
they
ask them
make
questions.
asking questions to find out exactly what
Who
happened,
killed
how
them and
it
all
happened,
that
who
stuff.
killed them, and
Wow,
all that stuff.
interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a lot. It's a lot. They do a lot.
So is the voodoo practice all over Haiti or just some
It's
aspects?
all over the place, including here in the U.S., Canada, Florida, all over.
Oh wow. So it's
Yeah,
not something
the
that's
people. Yeah,
in Haiti only.
it's not in Haiti only. The only difference with here and Haiti, some of the things that you may need to use, they may be hard to find
Mm-hmm.
here in the US than they are in Haiti. Meaning, if you really need a good voodoo, you
Mm-hmm.
will go back home. You
Mm-hmm.
have the cemetery that you get access to 24/7. Some of them have security now, but on the countryside, you can walk in 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock. Not like here, they close, they like the certain time open and close. You have some of these things, so you do. You need to go either to a church, in front of a church, in the cemetery. You may need a river. It depends on what you about to do. Certain things that you may not have access to them here, like some leaves
Right.
or some oil, these things. Then back home, you have access. They're
It's
more
more
open
accessible
and less
there.
expensive. They're more accessible.
Okay. Very interesting.
It is, and like you can walk. There was another story I heard since very young. They call them in French actually marche minuit. Somebody who walks at midnight is tall. You can be like that, you know, and if you're on the road at that time, at midnight,
Mm-hmm.
walking, going, or coming from somewhere, and you met with him, his feet are so long, so long. If he go across you, the next day you'll die. If you're on the road walking,
Mm-hmm.
and he's so tall,
Mm-hmm.
like you can even run because he will raise one in one step.
Will
It
cover
will
you.
it will cover you,
And if it
and
covers
if it
you,
cover you the next day, in a few days, that's it. You're gone.
wow.
Although, yeah, they have so many stories. Um, Before I came here, like the kids on the block, they used to say they heard like 1 foot every night at a certain time around 3 o'clock in the morning. They usually these people that do evil, they do it mostly overnight. If we have a personal affair, a personal something with somebody, then you can do whatever whenever. But
Mm-hmm.
at night, after a certain time, the parents always tell you not to stay out too late because in case
That's when the people be practicing their
their stuff.
voodoo.
Yeah, you may heard like I experienced that, but I was very very young, 6 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I can remember, my dad were going to the countryside with us for some what you call it, some feast in some church, and he had a big truck that those big like bus type,
Mm-hmm.
but they were, yeah, that were almost 60 to 64 people.
Okay.
But the we were driving far, like from one side or like from the north side to the south side, and the roads are bad. 10 o'clock at night, we didn't reach where we were going,
Mm-hmm.
and they stopped in little country before we get to. There was that horse. The bus length almost what,
The length of a
40,
bus,
50,
right?
50 something feet.
Right.
The horse was trying to pick up like everybody, including the in the bus.
A horse was
The
trying to lift the
horse,
entire bus.
yeah, the horse was like circled the whole truck
Mm-hmm.
with everybody in there, and people start having spirit, and it was. But I remember that I was 5, 6 years old around that age.
So what
That part
happened?
I remember. Nothing happened because it was so. It's again your force against my force, whoever stronger.
Okay, so you
I
think the
can I
people
may
on the
try to do,
bus?
yeah, I may try to do something evil to you and I cannot. That's what I'm saying. It's all depend on your belief or who whatever spirit you have with you that protects you.
Okay,
They are these things
so
too.
at that point now, when the horse is going around the bus and the people on the
The
bus
people
was
start
doing
having
their
their
own,
spirit and
they're
doing
doing
their
their
thing
chants and
and
stuff like that,
chanting
so
and
they
stuff.
kind of repel the horse.
Exactly. They never succeeded. That I remember. Like I was there, not say people saying, not a
You
saying.
actually
Like I
witnessed
was,
that,
yeah, I
and you
was
saw the
very very
horse.
young. Yes, it was a white big horse that
Kept going around
circled
the
yeah,
bus.
the whole,
Wow.
yeah. They have stories. My uncle used to go fishing
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of the night. He passed away a few years ago, but he will tell you one night he was in the middle of the sea in his little boat,
Mm-hmm.
and there was this like a, how you call it, like a goat, a white goat. He was by himself in the middle of the sea fishing at overnight,
Mm-hmm.
and there was this goat from nowhere that come in the boat with him.
So the goat appeared in the
Appear in the
boat.
middle of the sea. There is no way for the goat to,
Okay.
might have been in there from nowhere. Like from behind, like he was throwing the what do you call it?
The
That thing
hook
to
for the
do the hook
fish.
for the fish.
Yeah.
And when he turned around, the goat was behind him. You know?
Oh, they probably jump off the boat.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, things like that happen, and some of these stories you can have from the older family, from close family. It's not like they're lying about it. It's things that happen. That one of my uncle got. I have a few of them, about 4 or 5 uncles. One
Mm-hmm.
of them, that cemetery stuff, he was the one telling it happened to him.
Right.
That he went to bed with the lady thinking like he's in the house. In the morning he wake up, he was
Oh, so that
in the
happened to your
cemetery.
uncle.
One of my uncle actually. Yeah.
Wow, we need
Some
to
of
have
them are
another
true
episode.
stories.
Yeah.
Just true stories, yeah. But again, it depends on your belief. If it's,
So yeah, okay. It depends on if you believe
if you
or not.
believe, if you don't believe, yeah.
Believe kill and believe cure.
Kill,
That's what they
yeah.
would say in
That's
Jamaica.
exactly. That's right.
Okay, well, it was nice chatting with you, Guy.
My pleasure.
Thank you for sharing your stories about voodoo with me.
Okay.
And maybe another time we'll have another story time and you could tell us some other things about Haiti.
Okay.
All
That will
right?
be a pleasure. Yeah.
Okay,
My
thank
pleasure.
you.
You're welcome.